Hey guys! My name is JK. I'm excited about this. I'm really excited. I love Mary Poppins. So today, because of Genius Kitchen, I get to show you how to make this pretty bomb Mary Poppins doll cake. I'm really excited to start this cake, so let's get to it. Ooh, she's killing them in this dress, you guys. Now to create this cake, the first thing that I did was bake 2 vanilla box cakes in my doll cake pan. This is the cake pan that I use for all of my doll cakes. Perfect shape, the perfect size, I love it. And I cut my cake into 3 equal layers and then added some buttercream into the middle. I'm using a very simple buttercream recipe. It's just 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of powdered sugar, and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. After I added my 3rd layer of cake, I added some buttercream onto the side and then gave this baby a coat of buttercream. Now I placed this into the fridge for about 30 minutes so that all the buttercream could set up. Then I took it out and gave it another layer of buttercream. This is my fix-it layer so that the buttercream underneath my fondant is completely smooth. I took a paring knife and cut away the top of the cake just so that there was enough room to fit my doll's hips. Then it was time to cover this baby in fondant. I rolled out a very large piece of white fondant. It's 14 inches in diameter, which is the perfect size to cover the entire doll cake. And instead of flattening out the bottom of the cake, I'm just using my fingers to enhance all of the folds that it creates automatically. I push the fondant into the hole in the middle and then I insert my Barbie doll. Now this cake doesn't go all the way up to the doll's waist, and some people don't like that, but I love it because it makes it so that there isn't that much volume by the waist. I'm just filling in that gap with some fondant and blending it in with the rest of the cake. I'm just gonna cut away the excess with a paring knife and just start to create some of the fabric panels for the sides of the cake. Now I'm rolling out some white fondant and then just creating some fabric sails with my favorite doll cake technique. I love it! I use this for like almost all of my doll cakes. Now if you want to see more of my Genius Kitchen doll cakes, I'll link a playlist down below and some videos at the end of this video as well. Now usually I cut my fabric sails freehand, but that's because I make so many of these doll cakes. And if you don't, then you're in luck because there's a template for you in the description box too. And it's free, you guys. I wish I had like this Oprah show moment where I was on stage showing you how to make the cakes and you guys were sitting in the audience back here. And then I was like, now you can reach under your chairs and you pull out your templates. And I'm like, you get a template, you get a template, everybody gets templates. After I cut out my shape, I take my rolling pin and I just roll out the edges a little more to soften up all of the edges I cut away. Then with a little bit of vodka at the back, I adhere it to the rest of my cake at a 90-degree angle. To make this look more like fabric, I flip the back piece of the fondant over and then I flip it back over to create this really nice fold. At the bottom of Mary Poppins' dress, it's almost like tulle, right? And I wanted to create the same sort of effect for my doll cake, so I'm just using some sculpting tools and creating some defining lines to make it look more like the tulle on the bottom of the dress. These lines aren't just straight up and down. I'm using the folds as guidelines to make sure that each of the lines I'm creating flows with that part of the dress. Then I'm using some more sculpting tools to create some fabric texture on each of the panels so that it looks more cohesive as one piece. It also makes it look like the dress is flowing. After I was happy with that panel, I added on another panel and repeated that process 3 times all the way around the cake. Just making sure that all of the defining lines I'm creating with my sculpting tools allow the fabric to flow and give the illusion of movement. I'm making sure that these lines don't look out of place, that they're emphasizing the panels of fondant on top as well as the bottom layer of fondant that we placed on first. Now to create the top of Mary Poppins' dress, I rolled out some white fondant and I just cut it into a very long rectangle. I'm gonna give her a strapless neckline and just wrap this around from the front to the back. Then I just cut away the excess with a paring knife. If you notice at the bottom of the dress, I'm not just cutting away a straight line, I'm making sure that I can blend the bottom of the top with the rest of the dress. And then I just took a sculpting tool and just blended it together so it looks seamless. I'm gonna roll out some red fondant and cut out a very long pentagon shape. Just wrap that around her waist as well. to make it look like she's wearing a corset. Looks so nice, huh? Oh, it's so pretty. I love Mary Poppins. Ooh, that scene where they like go to the park and then there's all those drawings of chalk and Bert is there. I love that scene. Now I didn't want her arms to be so bare, so I decided to give her like a cape. I rolled out some white fondant and I cut out a circle using a cookie cutter. To give her a collar, I bent one of the sides of the circle over and then I just wrapped that around her neck and it looks so chic, right? Isn't it crazy? It's just a circle that has a bent edge and it looks like fashion. Crazy. That collar is everything and it was so easy to create. And once I added that, my fondant work was pretty much finished. But I wasn't done yet. You see, the dress that Mary Poppins wears has a whole bunch of lace detail. To create all of this detail, I'm using royal icing and some Wilton's round tips. The largest is a number 10 round tip. And I'm just gonna give the bottom texture a border so I know where it begins. I created a smaller border using a number 3 round tip. And I'm just working my way all the way around the cake. Now notice I am, again, working with the fabric, making sure that it's not flat, but that it moves in organic ways with the folds. Yeah, because before I used to not do that. I should just like pipe a straight line all the way around, but now I'm like, make sure that this looks organic because then it looks more like fabric. Once I finished that, I put on a number 1 Wilton's round tip and then gave my dress some lace detail. I'm just copying the detail that's on the dress. You could just make it up, nobody will ever know. Usually I don't like my face being in the shots where I'm decorating, but I didn't really have a choice. I wanted to get the detail just right, so I was like up close and personal with this cake. Now along with the royal icing, I also added some very small white fondant flowers I created with a fondant cutter. I'm just adding the same textures to her bust area and then giving her cape a border so it has more detail as well. I'm adding on some very small fondant bows to the border of the dress. And then to finish this doll cake, I'm placing on the Mary Poppins hat that I didn't have to create because it came with the doll. And voila, my Mary Poppins doll cake was complete. This cake looks so sick, it looks so stunning. I love all the lace detail, I love the tiny little bows. I love Mary Poppins, I love Julie Andrews, and I'm excited to see what Emily Blunt brings to the Mary Poppins role in the new movie. I'm curious, what is your favorite Mary Poppins song? I love A Spoonful of Sugar, and Casey Musgraves, one of my favorite country singers, does a great cover of that song. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Genius Kitchen and click the notification bell so that you can see all the videos that they post, including the ones that I create for this channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love you. I will see you very soon. Peace!